progress.
Welcome to EIP Editing Office Hour, meeting number 93. This has been added on Ethereum/PM GitHub repository on agenda number 1972. On agenda, we have a few last calls, miscellaneous, and draft. We are joined by some authors. So if you would like, maybe we can get started with the proposal that author is requesting. I suppose the PR number is 11373, the first one in the draft section, and we are joined by Tom.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here. So that's the PR number, 11373. The EIP is 8182, but it's unambiguous because you have a link.
Yes.
Yeah, opening it up. Roger, right?
That's the right one, yes.
So yeah, I think you have addressed the comments that I mentioned. Other things looked fine to me.
Great. I think I resolved both of those. For the contract, I put a to do, and then for or a TBD or whatever, and then for all the TBDs, I put the HTML comments in indicating where they are.
So as you know, this is mostly editing review, and without going into the technical merits of the EIP, which we believe other people will review and sort of hash it out with you, including the contract that will go for it. This looks fine to me, so I'll just approve it.
Great. I mean, while we're here and just in general, I know this isn't about the technical content, but if you have any thoughts, that would certainly be like super helpful and useful, even if they're not like official or fully, baked, just always looking for input.
So are you looking for technical input or the input regarding how all this EIP is?
Yeah, like, is it a good idea? Do you like it? Do you think it's got, any technical feedback on how basically any reaction you have is just, super, super helpful. And
I mean, it's definitely helpful for a canonical way to basically do transfers, private transfers. But I don't know what with Ethereum adopted or not, that is something that is sort of, you have to champion, and it is more political in that sense.
Yep. No, that definitely.
One thing that I would like to add is that, I mean, it needs to be a bit more simple so that you can champion it in an easier way. So I think other things are mostly regarding the implementation. So
okay, cool. So yeah, on that note, maybe I should ask for some advice. So like, my first EIP, and I felt torn in these two directions. One, as you mentioned, you got to keep it simple enough where someone can get excited about it and understand it. And at the same time, it's not even fully specified even now in terms of having everything that an EIP should have. It has all these TBDs in it. So it's like these two poles. So what I was thinking, I don't know what most people do here, but I was thinking maybe the thing that's really the proposal would be some kind of accompanying article or even like a website. And then the EIP would try to be as comprehensive as possible versus trying to make the EIP less comprehensive, which then, makes it harder to imagine how you might, implement it or what the details are. So, is that, because of course the political side and getting people to be excited is, just as important, more important as the technical. So I just want, is that what people do, or what do you think is effective, or what have you seen that's been effective?
So I think it is good that the EIP should be concise and still should expect all the questions that can come up to a developer, right? A person who understands the protocol. So in that sense, I think it seems fine because you seem to have pushed the contract specification to a different section, and the other things look concise to me. So one of the other things is that, regarding the idea how you can convince other members of Ethereum community regarding this. And for that, what really matters is the abstract and motivation, and that seems pretty clear to me. Another question would be, which I don't think you have addressed over here, which you can add as a follow-up PRs, is how does this particular thing compare with regard to the solutions? And second would be, why did you choose this particular technical parameters that you have chosen, right? So if you explain that, I think that is what most of the developers who are interested in it, and then they start looking your EIP in detail, would want to know that, okay, how does it compare with regard to other ideas that are out there, and why you have chosen some particular set of parameters. So this is something that you can add as a follow-up PRs, and you wouldn't need any EIP editing approval for it. That would automatically get merged. So in that sense, yeah, I wish you best of luck.
And so, sorry, not to take too much time. So last question, just so I play that back and understand it. So got to make the abstract motivation sections as strong as possible. Definitely makes sense. I'll take another pass at that. You mentioned okay, putting this in context, how does it compare to other solutions? I think this is super important. And I try to do a lot of research on this, basically to position it well so that we're not too similar or too different or whatever. And so is that something that goes in the EIP? It's almost kind of like market research, really, about here's the taxonomy, here's what other people are doing. Does that have a place in the EIP, or is that kind of a companion article or something?
So you have rationale section for it where you can add this thing.
Okay, so rationale would be, how does it compare to other stuff as relevant? And then also this, why do we choose the parameters and to do it this way? So basically abstract motivation and rationale, try to get this in there is what you're saying. It always confused me. Why is rationale so down below everything else? It seems like that should be about, but you got to say the spec first and everything. Anyway, super helpful. Definitely curious if you have any more thoughts, but don't want to take too much time. And thank you for merging it. And then, actually, last one quick question. You mentioned if I want to do a PR for an update to the EIP, I just make that PR and it will get fast tracked to being merged or something. Is there any protocol for that I should be aware of?
Yes. So it will get auto merged if it passes all the checks, unless you're changing the status of the EIP, which is something then again EIP editing approval would require over there. But just to further develop your EIP in draft stage, you can just make the changes, have discussions with other members of the community, how to make it better, and a lot of things. For example, how you will learn that how to word them, or what are things that people get motivated with, and what are issues that you need to address. You will basically come to know when you will pitch and champion the EIP. So it is sort of an iterative process. You can't just make it perfect and then say that, okay, then I will go and champion it. So you can start championing it even with the current draft, and then you would automatically understand that, okay, these are the things that need addressed, because people will point it out. And I hope that in discussions to Link, there are already discussions going on. So that is your valuable source of information about what you need to do with regard to championing this EIP.
Awesome. And last question. Last question. Will it now automatically appear on the EIP's website in that format of looking like an official EIP, or is there another stage for that?
So it will appear under draft section now.
Great. Great.
Yeah, you don't need to do it.
So,
okay. Well, I'm good then. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
So just one last piece of suggestion here, because this is a standard Stack core proposal, you might want to see it and upgrade. And as you understand, Ethereum works on multi-upgrade processes. So you would want to consider for which upgrade you want to champion this proposal. And based on the timelines that you can find at forecast.org, you can add your draft proposal for discussion of client reviews. Unless that is selected for any particular upgrade, it would not make sense to promote the status. You could still do changes. You could still enrich the proposal as much as you want.
Got it. That makes total sense. And, again, I'm like super new to this. Off the top of your head, no pressure. Do you have any suggestion for which, if this were to make it, which would be the good one to target? I guess probably not the next one, maybe the one after. Or...
It could be Hegota or beyond.
Hegota would be the earliest.
Yeah, Hegota and beyond, because Glamsterdam is almost finalized, so you cannot champion it for that.
So the best way to champion it would be to basically get in touch with a client developer, an EL client developer in this case, and then pitch your proposal and see what they say, right? So this is how, you can go and then basically you can pitch it in ACD once you have a lot of context and a lot of things that, a lot of feedback incorporated from the people that you talk to. And basically then you can do it, you can propose it for a hard fork, and those proposals are basically then evaluated in the ACD one by one, where they are selected or deferred or rejected. So you will have to basically be a bit more involved with the ACD process.
Awesome. Sounds great. And thank you for this link. I'm shocked that I didn't know about that. Maybe I didn't know about this, but yeah, this is a great page. We are here. Wow. Right. In history. Cool. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. So you can follow, because its non-headliner EIP proposal has not started yet. It would be started after March 12th. So you should be seeing it in upcoming ACD meetings. As you follow that, you would get the dates when you can actually propose the proposal.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you for joining. Yeah, so this one is, my proposal. I just wanted to promote it as the upgrade has already been finalized.
Yeah, I got that, and I think this just needs a
some time
rerun. Yes. The previous one, which is, because it must be depending upon that.
Yes, that was the blocker. Yes. Maybe we can move on to the next one and get back to 8135 back again after some time.
Yeah, you should be able to re-trigger it yourself, right?
It generally does not work. So if it does not work, then maybe we'll have to check with Sam.
Okay.
Or maybe you can close and open. Yeah, maybe you can close and open, and that might work.
No, even my... Okay, it did not restart this particular thing.
No, it does not.
All right, it seems to have triggered the workflow. Hopefully it should merge now.
Okay. So next are some miscellaneous proposals. There are some content changes on the proposals and some other changes that might require editor's review.
This is not really an editor because this is my EIP, and this guy must have proposed technical changes into it.
Okay. So yeah, as an author, you can perhaps add comments there.
I moved this EIP into stagnant, so I don't know.
And it's not a good idea to update the stagnant proposal unless they intend to revive. But yeah, because you are an author, it's a call.
This
Do we
seems
want
like
to, do we want to wait for other authors' approval in this one?
yeah, I mean, this is anyway flagged to other authors. This is not even waiting for us.
Okay.
So unless your filter has labeled it wrong, it should not
Yeah, I
be
think,
your.
I think it's a mistake. It is anyway waiting for authors, not for editors. Yeah, we can go to the next one. PR number 11048. So basically this requires two editors' approval here. Seems like something is changing in RSS.xml file. Have added, at least we can get one editors and we can bring it to the next editor, or else if you prefer it to be moved to EIP, I'm open to do that.
I mean, the question is that if this is the change that we want, I can approve it and leaving to Sam.
Yep. Okay. The next one is also the same, RSS related.
I mean, this is changing something more. It is basically changing the way things are rendered, because it seems like changing a last call to non ERC. I'm not sure what impact this is. So
Okay. Maybe we can skip this one because this is more than simple.
you can still approve it, and because then Sam wouldn't approve it for anyone else.
Yeah, that makes sense. With that out of the way, we will move on to the draft proposals. The first one is already reviewed, so maybe we can move on to the next one. The PR number is 9374.
This is also merged.
Okay, yeah, the next 11303.
So I think I left some comments there which the author has not addressed. So once these are addressed, then it can be merged.
Very well. So the next one is 11330. I suppose the author has responded to comments and fixes that was requested earlier.
So I think I reviewed this and then I did not approve because I saw this particular comment by Sam, and he has also basically requested changes. So I would basically let Sam take a call on this. I can just share the comment over here.
Cool. And I will add it to the next office hour, which is going to be by Sam. So the next one is by Greg. This is like, I guess this is the third office hour in which we have added this. From the previous office hours, editors has concerns that whether this should be added as an EIP or not. Yeah.
So I saw that Sam mentioned that this could be taken as informational EIP for design issues, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't get any clear yes or no. He says that as per template, it looks good, but not very sure whether it should be part of Ethereum EIP. After that, Greg has made some changes. I'm not sure if after those changes, it should be good enough to be merged as draft. Yeah.
So Sam, I mean, it could make sense as an informational EIP that basically that explains the design. But yes, I would sort of agree with Sam that historical context doesn't need to be there. They just need to understand what is the current design. Yeah, I mean, this section doesn't need to be there. Historical context.
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult to have this something like this as an EIP, in the sense that design changes all the time, right? So so who will basically update this? Will this become a living EIP, or will this become a final EIP? And if this has to become a final EIP, then it should mention that it should anchor itself into some hard fork, right? So it should say that this particular hard fork is what this informational EIP is talking about.
Yeah.
So maybe could add that as well.
Yeah, we need more consensus from editor's team on that part. Next, we have the proposal for Lucid. I guess it is still waiting to be merged.
So yeah, we are waiting for the author to provide discussion to link, which is why you can see this red flag over here, which has already been flagged.
Okay, I will inform the author here. Yeah. Okay, cool. That makes sense. All right, I think that's pretty much it for today's meeting. I'm looking at the PR 11417. I don't know why it is still not merged, still running bot. Hopefully it will be merged after that. But other than that, I think we are good for today. We are trying to make the PRs as relevant as possible, although I found 2 errors today itself. But I think we are good for today. Thank you so much.
Yep, sounds good.
Thank you so much, Gajendra, for joining us here today, and people listening or watching this call. We'll be back with EIP plus ERC reviews in the next Editing Office Hour on Tuesday at 1600 UTC. See you all. Bye-bye.